In this video, I'm going to show how to create two real-world objects, a pond with spillway and an outfall channel. As usual, I start off by creating a work canvas from the side boundary and an existing ground. To view the canvas in 3D, I need to turn off the visibility of tint in 3D view. Now I launch the swale command and select the baseline, which will drive the geometry of swale. I keep the default values of grade and radius, click OK. That's the swale. Now I launch the pond command, select the grading grid and a feature line that will serve as the boundary of the pond. Now this dialog allows me to specify various parameters for interior and outside grading. So let's start with the first parameter, which is the rim elevation. This is the elevation at which rim is placed, and rim width can be 0 if that's what I desire. I can change the pond depth. Let's say I want to make it deeper. I can change the slope of the wall. Let's say I want to make it steeper. And I'm going to keep the default values of cut and fill grades that will define the shape of the slope outside the pond boundary. So that's the pond created using the values I specified in the dialog. Now I can edit any element in canvas. Let's say I want to change the depth of pond. I can control click on the pond bottom and type a value by which I want to change its elevation, and I can go back to the 2D view and change the offset to modify the width of rim, and the whole model updates collectively. I can grab the pond wall and make it less steep. So I can grab the rim plane and change its elevation. Now I want to emphasize here that the elevations of pond boundaries are always derived from this plane. So I should never manipulate the elevations of feature lines directly. And if I do so, then those edits will be ignored. So the only way to change the elevations of a feature line is to manipulate the elevation of the plane on which these feature lines are draped. Now let's say I'm not happy with the results. I can undo to go back to the previous view. Now as you can see, the inner boundary has not updated after undo. In this case, I can select the side boundary and move it by displacement 0. This will update any part of the model which is out of date after undo. This happens on rare occasions, and this is the workaround that we recommend. Now I'm creating a spillway by selecting the grading grid, the spillway boundary and the pond boundary. I can specify the elevation of the bottom of the spillway, and it needs to be somewhere close to the water level. And I can specify the slope of the spillway wall. Click OK. Now I can adjust the dimensions of the spillway if I'm not happy with the result. Just control click on any piece and change its dimensions. I can move the spillway boundary to change the location of spillway along the pond rim. To direct the runoff downstream of spillway, I can adjust the dimensions of the outfall channel in Canvas by editing the baseline in 3D. And if I'm not satisfied with the default colors, I can change the colors of any piece and make them look real. And if you view the model closely, you can see some ragged edges. This is the artifact of grid model, and these ragged edges will disappear once I convert the model to the solid view, and I'm going to show that soon. Now I want to create pond storage. Now create pond storage command is placed on the create working element panel, because this command is going to create a water surface which is a working element and it's not part of the finished ground. So I launch create pond storage, select or click on the pond bottom, and then click again to get the pond interior. This defines the container of storage. And then I select the inner boundary, which is the boundary of storage, and specify a water level. Now this volume tool shows the stage as well as the pond volume storage and the earthwork volumes. So the idea is to design a pond for a given storage capacity while minimizing the earthwork simultaneously. Now I can control click on the water surface, raise and lower it till I'm satisfied with the results, and the volume tool updates to reflect the new values. I want to show one more important feature before I switch the model to solid view. I'm modifying the site boundary. Now the extents of the grading grid are always rectangular. So I may encounter a region which is undefined if it lies outside the existing ground. Let me increase the grid spacing from 3 to 6 units to improve the performance. When I change the site boundary, everything gets updated, so the performance can get impacted. So as I change the site boundary, I'm changing the extents of the grading grid, and a big piece of it is lying outside the existing ground. And let's say I want to trim away this piece. Now I'm going to show you a workaround to clip the grading grid by the site boundary. I launch the bound element command on the modify element panel, select the finished ground by continuously clicking on the canvas till I reach the finished canvas, enter, and then I select the site boundary. That trims away the unwanted piece. Now I can click on the canvas and convert it to the solid view. Now this will take a long time, so I'm going to fast forward this video. So that's my solid view, and there are a lot of details in this solid model, and that's why it took me about 8 minutes to convert this model to the solid view. Now I can click the canvas and export in AutoCAD 3D Solid. Let's view the solid in the object viewer. Now this 3D solid represents the finished ground, and I can use the standard 3D features of AutoCAD to integrate 3D models of buildings and structures into the finished terrain.